everyone. Welcome to your regular podcast and Knowledge and Powers. As always with you, it's me, Kat. 안녕하세요. And then we have Baruch.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we have Golaj.
Dobre ráno. Good morning, everyone.
Ooh. What a morning. I'm so sleepy. Even my alarm bell today went on. I switched it off. And of course, I don't remember. I switched it off until, until my husband came like, are you not getting up? And I'm like, what's happening? What's happening?
It's good to have husband for this.
I don't remember the time when alarm actually woke me up.
It's good to have baby.
I have multiple alarms then, or different type of alarm.
Wow.
Yeah, like today it was at 5. So I'm already having lunch in an hour, sort of.
Just for those who are listening to us at different times, it's 8 a.m. Yeah.
Having a lunch at 9 a.m. Okay.
Well, we all have different schedules. So.
Okie doke. Kolacik, share with us 3 tidbits.
So 3 fun facts, 3 tidbits for this week. The first one is about UN General Assembly, so United Nations General Assembly. They went and looked into human rights, and we have a new right, if you haven't noticed. And the right says that we have the right to access clean, healthy, and sustainable environment. So that's our right starting last year.
So that's my typical Saturday when we are cleaning the house.
Yeah, basically, yes, but it's also about the surrounding, how countries behaving and all that stuff. So,
okay,
they are intervening.
So like where's the air pollution and stuff, right?
Yep, exactly.
I'm literally thinking of Beijing.
Yes.
And at 3 p.m. you couldn't see the next building. That's how the air was polluted.
Yeah, it was terrible. But it's getting better there as well.
Yeah, I have one tidbit about that. So let's move to that one.
About Beijing or pollution?
About China and air pollution, basically. So They dropped their air pollution in the last years by 9.1%. Which is same reduction as the US did for the past 30 years.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So they reduced the cars by 30%. They reduced coal. They moved more to renewable energy sources. They've created new environmental regulations. And they actually created a palm island. They're trying to renew lost woods, trees and everything.
Well done, China. Well done.
So China is doing really huge progress, and we should really be envying them, sort of. Learning from them. Yeah. So they're better than we are in a lot of ways, even construction of highways and reduction of air pollution as well.
Nice. It's strange, like when you look at statistics, there are so many countries that still rely on coal.
Yep.
Like it's 21st century and coal is used as a source of power. It's strange.
Yep. Like, for example, Russia.
Yeah, you didn't say that, did you?
I did that. Sorry for that, but I just heard about that. For example, the city where Gazprom is being located, the huge creator and producer and supplier of gas. Where they are located, the whole city is actually supplied and warmed up by coal. I don't know why, but there are still countries who are really, really reliant on coal. So, well.
Okay, number 3. Let's go number 3.
Number 3 is more about humans. So we are going to switch the fields. And maybe I have a teasing question here. How many senses do you think we have as humans?
Wasn't it 5? And you might have a 6th sense.
So, Kat, for you, it's 5, 6. Baruch, for you as well, 6?
Or 5 and 6 if you are, I don't know.
Okay.
Psychic, if you are psychic.
Yeah. So basically, the neuroscientists can't agree
Okay.
or it depends on how you define a sense. So we are being told that there is 5 of them, which is not really true. Right now, there is about 9 of them.
Huh?
Because those 5, as we were told, are sight, touch,
Smell.
hearing, taste, and smell.
Mhm.
But you can also feel temperature,
But that's a sense of
cold,
touch.
sense of what? Sense of touch.
Well,
sense of
Don't touch, you
smell.
don't touch
So,
air.
You are touching air
so
all the time.
you are touching all the time something. Yeah, true.
Ah.
Or something is
Look, I'm touching
you.
air now.
Okay, good. How about equilibrium, balance? How would you explain that
that's
through
a good
touch?
one. No, I'm
So
not
that's
saying
another one.
touch. Yeah.
And then there is nociception and proprioception.
No, see what? Now you need to explain what?
So nociception is that something hurts you. Like when you're stabbed or, you feel some bubble movements, that's nociception that you're feeling. And proprioception is about movement, that you are moving this way you are located and stuff like that. So that's another sense we have. So this is a definition that we have a sensory cells recepting a specific signal. Based on those, we can have 9, but it could be also a bit enlarged, and we could have 21 of these senses, or even up to 53 of these senses. Depends how you a bit tweak the definition.
Yeah, I think
Neuroscientists
that's
can go
it
up
because
to 53.
yeah, because what we are taught in school, it's basically the way that we perceive outside world, not our internal pains, etc. So
That's one of the things. The other thing, I think, which plays a role is that we are being taught something what was actual like 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's
It's not like the recent research, because updating everything will take some time. So
well, that's a good question. We haven't been in school for some time, so
But hold on, Kolat said 20 years ago. For me, it was like 30 years ago. So he was taught exactly the same thing what I was
yeah.
and
There is
the other thing is like it's taught like kids that are maybe about 8 years old and this way. So you are not going to bother them with 51 senses.
51's not, but you could do the 9, like
that's
temperature and harm and everything like that. So again, 9 senses, everyone. Okay, and let's continue with the topic we've had last week, and we were talking about unconscious games we play. So we're talking about Eric Berne, how he came with transactional analysis, about our ego status. We were talking about simplification, whether I'm okay or not okay, if you are okay or you are not okay. And based on that, we defined the drama triangle. So we're talking about 3 roles of savior, victim, and perpetrator who are playing these unconscious games. And we mentioned a few of those games in the last episode, which you can watch on our YouTube channel.
Or listen on the Spotify or wherever you are listening our podcast.
True. Or podcast or vodcast.
Podcast.
Yeah, that's podcast with video.
Ooh.
Yeah, we have those now.
Yeah, we have those now. And I would like to expand on this and look further into this topic and look for ways how to escape these games, how to recognize these games and go outside of it.
Maybe you will define it later, but my question would be, why would I want to escape these games? Or which would be the situations?
Okay, so let's talk a bit about the drama triangle back, because there is a root cause for what you've just asked. Like, why would I like to escape that? So there are these 3 roles of a persecutor, victim, and savior. And each of them has this notion that I am either okay and you are not okay, or I'm not okay and you're okay. And that's connected to sort of feelings within us. So me as a persecutor, I'm blaming others for my mistakes, or I'm not calling them my mistakes, but it's happening there. Micromanaging others, like if something was screwed up, you are the one who is responsible for that. I'm not aware of the power I have over the other people. So I'm pushing the boundaries, pushing the limits, pushing the buttons of the others. So for me, when it comes to, and I realize I'm a persecutor, which we'll talking a bit later on, is that I don't want to blame others because it's harming the relationship altogether. Mm-hmm. I want to be conscious about the situation and who is responsible for what. The same goes for savior, because he or she has the notion that they need to help somebody else because otherwise they are not needed. So it's their self-value which is pushing them to help someone, either in a good way or a bad way. They can even help so that the others fail, just so they feel that they are needed by somebody else. They don't believe that somebody can make them on their own, so they need to step in. And again, you as a savior, if you find yourself in that position, you may want to get rid of that feeling, like I am not needed. I mean, seriously, is that really what my position, or my belief or my mindset, which I want to keep? Mm-hmm. The same goes for the victim. If I'm the victim, I'm blaming everyone for my own responses, for my replies, for my, belief system, for my happenings around me, environment. And again, if you want to take empowerment over your own life, about your situation, you want to be accountable for that, you want to step outside of it. So you need to realize, again, this sort of way that I'm feeling this and I don't want to feel it. So that's Baruch sort of answer to your question. Why to do that is because it harms the relationship and you want to feel differently, because through this triangle, through this position, through these roles, you are either feeling that you are not at the same level as the others, so you are not okay and the others are okay, or you are pushing others to do some sort of your bidding and you are above them, so they are not equal partners. And again, it's about the relationship, how to equal them.
So basically it's a lot about avoiding some toxic, maybe not toxic relationships, or at least maybe some toxic behavior.
Yeah, it's a pattern which gives us, as I was mentioning before, some psychological benefits. Like I feel safer because I do know this pattern, whatever. So on a certain level, or in a certain awareness level, you will feel sort of a bittersweet feeling at the end, because, like we've probably had a huge fight right now. We've really swear on each other, but at the end, I feel good. I feel like a winner, or I got some sort of safety there. And although we are now really angry at each other, I feel somehow like, good, this is something I know. So that's sort of a relief there. And that's what you may or may not want to change. It's up to you, because, there will be cognitive dissonance coming in, because you are saying that you want good relationship, but you're behaving differently than in a good relationship.
I'm really looking forward to hear what those strategies are, because I can see in some of these dynamics between people, some of the people might want to change the dynamics, but like one side wants to change and then the other one doesn't, or doesn't see that there is a need to change anything. So I'm really curious what you are going to explain.
And these unconscious games we play all the time? Like, is it like automated in us, unless you literally recognize it and then you apply any part of a solution? So it's like within us, right?
Yeah, it's within us. It's a learned behavior pattern which repeats. So that's also one way how to start, with going outside of those games. You need to observe yourself. What patterns do you regularly, or the others? So if you want to interact with others, or if you want to observe others as well, but start with you. Good is to read the materials from Eric Bernal, from his successors later on, because they revised the games and again looked into the dynamics within them. And if you read those, you can find yourself within them. So I did find myself within several of those. I found a few others people around me within some of those games, and they could be, good, because they are also used for fun. Like we were talking about the activity. How about Yes Spot? Like have you tried? Yes, but so it could be fun, like fun interaction to spend some time together. That's fine. But the problem comes when it really hurts the relationship, or you want to move outside, move forward, grow, whatever decision you make, and these behavioral patterns are stopping you from that. We keep them because they are giving us some benefits, and we need to observe ourselves to step outside. And we need to ask ourselves those really like important questions, whether this is something I want. Is it helping me, when with my self-development, with my relationships? Depends, So like you notice that this is repeating again and again and again. We have constantly fight about dishes. So probably it's not about the dishes anymore. It's probably something deeper than just the dishes, usually. Or it's not about the Excel and the color I used for highlighting this field. It's something else, usually. Mainly when it repeats 10 times and I do it on purpose later on. So, it could be something else. Those interactions, small interactions, are the triggering ones which you need to look for.
I'm just thinking when you said that we might then repeat something on purpose, and I'm literally thinking how tiring that must be. Like, even if you do want to play that game, like you want to play someone's nerves, push their buttons, and maybe I'm looking at it from the way, like, all the work I'm doing and all the areas I'm in, where do people find time for that? It's like, and also why? Like,
they have a need for it.
But if you find a pleasure in it, doesn't it mean you also have some?
Yes, it does.
Diagnosis?
Not really.
You have a pleasure in it, but it doesn't mean that you have diagnosis. It just gives you safety, sort of benefit of safety or pleasure, or because it's something you know. And if there is something you are not brain is receiving really good because it's spending less energy. It doesn't necessarily need to go outside of the comfort zone. Anything like that. That's the benefit you are getting out of it. It's not really tiring to play the same game, actually.
Okay.
It's more tiring to get outside of it because there is something what is uncertain for you, something what is disrupting the way how you behave, the way how you think. And that's triggering more emotions, more thoughts, and that's more tiring than actually playing the same around. There is this joke from psychological perspective. Do you know how many psychologists are necessary to exchange a bulb?
5?
No, just
one. I know. The one that convinced the bulb to want to be changed.
And it's not about convincing. The bulb wants to change by itself.
Okay.
So just one psychologist, but the bulb needs to want to by themselves. Jesus, that was a horrible English. If somebody can fix it, please write a comment.
Fix our English.
Fix our English. Yeah. So when you are playing the games and somebody else is playing the game, and you realize you don't want to, it doesn't necessarily mean the other person doesn't want to. And you can't force them to stop playing the game. You can name it, describe the situation from external perspective, like, okay, I've noticed that this happened 3 times already this week. Or I don't feel this situation comfortable. I would like to avoid it for the next time. Whatever. You open the adult conversation. You go from I'm okay, you are getting okay. You're moving into adult conversation. You're moving to situation where you are okay and the other person is okay. So it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about a situation between us, and we are going to deal with it as an adult. We are going to discuss what is happening, and we are going to discuss how we want to see it in the future. So that's how you move there, and it helps to change lenses in this situation, to look on the environment, the situation you're within in a different way. So because we are talking about victims, about persecutors, about saviors, and you need to change this lens to look on it differently to get to that level of equality, sort of. And that's possible if you change the roles into different aspects. So if you move the feelings basically there, or the thoughts, the mindset. So let's start with the victim. That's the most easiest one, I feel. So victim, when we're talking about victim, there was this feeling that I'm not responsible, everything is happening to me, I'm not in control, I can't influence anything, everybody hates me, I'm not able to do anything. So how would the opposite look like?
A hero that can fix everything.
Okay, yeah. So yes, there is hero, or as David Emerald defined them in the empowerment dynamic, that's creator. So I'm capable, I am able to change the things, I'm responsible, I'm accountable, I'm going to do about it, something about it. So I have the power, I can do it. Good one. Then there is this savior. So savior was that if I'm not helping, I'm not needed, I'm feeling that I'm afraid of a situation where I'm unneeded because then my personal value is not there. So I need to help them because others are not capable of it. So how would the opposite look like?
Everybody has their value and they can do everything themselves.
Yep, that's exactly like that. So you are moving from the point of savior into sort of a guide, or as David says, coach. So you're asking the hero now, or the creator, how you will do it, what you will use, and you will leave them with the notion of how they can do things. And if necessary, you can help them do something, but it's not your responsibility to do anything. It's their own power. They are the heroes, they are the creators, they are fully capable. You don't need to intervene.
Mm-hmm.
And the last is the persecutor, that I'm here to blame you for everything what was done. You know, you're the wrong person. I have the power. I'm not aware of it. That's what I was mentioning. So I'm going to give you, this is what you need to do. How would it look like in this empowerment dynamic?
I leave Katka to speak for now.
Yeah, I'm just thinking whether like my thoughts are like proposing solutions, but then it wouldn't be empowerment. It would be more like opening up, like, do you have any potential solutions that I can support you in? Do you want me to maybe create a group for brainstorming?
That's still the coach, yeah. That's still the coach.
It's a coach?
That's still
because
the coach.
I'm thinking if I'm offering the solution, then I'm not giving them the empowerment.
Yep. That's why there is no one giving you the solution directly, only suggesting or something like that. That's how the coaches work, or these guides, and showing them the path. When it comes to this persecutor, the opposite of it in a triangle is the challenger. So I have a challenge for you. I have the situation for you, which you can do, which you can overcome, sort of, because they provoke growth. The main difference between persecutor and this challenger is that in the empowerment dynamic, the challenger is not blaming, is not actually judging the hero. They are just there, that this is the challenge which you need to overcome.
Like giving you the space for practice.
For the practice, or it doesn't necessarily need to be, again, or in this case, it doesn't necessarily need to be already a person. It could be just the situation you're within. That's the challenge you need to overcome.
Can we go through maybe a couple of examples? For example, this one is a tough one because it's usually you feel powerless in this kind of situation. You already mentioned the situation, the manager is a micromanager and you don't like it. So what would your steps be if you are the employee?
Yeah, so it depends again. Okay, I'm going to use Kubo's Fredo. It depends.
Kubi! He's our hero.
So you notice that there is similar pattern between you and the boss. And it means that the boss usually comes and is asking you for the proof of work, or tells you exactly what to do, how to do it, etc. You notice that you, at the first point, you liked it because you were probably lost in the work, or because you feel comfortable and that, okay, the person is helping me. But after some time, you probably are growing out of it, and you feel that, okay, it's not something I like anymore. That's my assumption, that you realize that, okay, so that person is still micromanaging me after 3 years of working together. They're still sending me every day a note, what's the progress of my work on each specific topic. Okay, so that might be something I don't want to do anymore. So looking on it through the lens of the drama triangle, you can at first realize that for some time you're in the victim period, that you are saying to everyone, to your colleagues, oh, my boss is sending me the note every time, every day. Oh, I can't do something about it. Maybe I can try, or, like I've tried to do something, but it didn't help. But it didn't help. Or there
You
could
just
be
say the word "but" and it already triggers in me.
Yeah. So that could be thing, or you will be playing. There are some other games connected to that, and you will be playing, for example, Dump, that you haven't seen the note for the past 2 days, just and wait for your boss to notice, and then the boss comes angry towards you because he's micromanaging you, tells that, like you haven't fulfilled your work, and you feel like, oh damn, he's micromanaging me. Then other person, oh, I got his attention now, so I feel good, like I've got this, that's my benefit I'm getting out of it. So this can happen, and when you decide to go outside of these games, of this micromanagement and all this, you notice you've heard our podcast right now, or you read the book, and you define like, I want to change it. Good for you. That's one thing. And then let's have a look on the communication, so you want to go into adult level. And that's when you go to your boss and tell them about how you can do it, or what are the points they are getting out of it, how to change it, because you don't like to do it on a daily basis, that you would like to do it maybe once a week, or you come up with a proposal. You can get a guy there, a coach there, like you can go for a coaching session, for mentoring session, for, having just a friend there, on a phone, who will give you guides, or ask them how you're going to do it. How are you going to address your manager and change the situation of a daily notes? And you will define your own plan, and then go to the boss and tell them like, okay, so I see this as my challenge. You don't need to really phrase it like this. I would like to change the situation we are in because it makes me feel this way. There is this honest feedback,
I'm gonna elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, go on.
And maybe it's not even connected to this. You will tell me afterwards, but a pattern I usually see and saw with employees, because many employees came to me, and I wasn't even their manager, but they were exactly addressing this. My manager is micromanaging me. And I provided them different type of solution they could apply. They did apply all of those solutions, and it didn't work. And usually the outcome is that they either leave the company, or they change the team, or they search for a different job. Because usually what should be next is, if your manager is not listening, you have other options. One is skip level, that you can go to manager, talk about it. You can open ethic ticket, you can open HR ticket. And this is something that people don't want to do. I don't know if they see it, I don't want to go into a conflict, or that looks dramatic enough, or they're so afraid of it. The problem is, if they don't do it, the same pattern that was happening to them, that person will do to the rest of the employees, right? So, or to numerous others. And they had that possibility to stop it, not on a manner that they would harm the manager or that person, but it just provides the company, okay, we now need to educate this person, or help him, her to be developed as well. But people avoid it. And that's where I see that the adulthoods, because that's our job as an adults, to learn how to help one another, how to learn about the conflicts, learn about yourself. That's what makes us adults. That's what makes us smart, not to avoid it or run away from it, because it will just, that pattern will keep happening too. Is this also connected what we're discussing?
It is because you were mentioning several games basically based on the behaviors there. So on a corporate level, if you look on it, or individual level, so they came to you for an advice.
Mhm.
and you told them you gave them solutions. So you were the savior for them. They come to you as a victim, can't help me, I'm helpless. And you gave them the advice. So they were the victim and you were the savior, giving them, some tools. You were playing this, okay, I can't do it. Yes, but you can try that and blah, blah, blah. So there are a few games which could have been played there, which again brought benefits to both of you. Like they felt safe, that they got some advice, that they blamed somebody else. They felt that they are okay, really not really accountable for it, responsible, and they may not turn into like empowered already. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. It depends again on the situation. It could go to, because we don't see the psyche behind each individual there. Then actually they might have had the conversation, they might have tried something, they might have a conversation with the boss, might have addressed the situation with the manager, like, okay, I got this advice, okay, I'm ready, I'm responsible, accountable, and they could come to the boss and tell them, hey, this is the situation, I want to change it, and the boss could have said, like, no. And that's probably what could happen, is that I don't want to change it because that's how it is. I like that I can micromanage you because it gives me benefit. I'm still above. I want to keep my position above you. I'm still okay. You're not okay. The feedback you're giving me is not relevant because you don't know. You're below me. You don't know what's right, what's correct. This is how we do things. This is how it was done until now. This is correct. You are wrong. And the situation could have ended up that they are leaving the company, as you mentioned. And again, that could be the result of the game, like, see what you make me do. That's another game, again, which Eric Bernard was mentioning, that, I've got the benefit that I've tried everything, but see what you made me do. I need to leave the company because of you. So again, it's giving the benefit that I've tried something and see what you made me do. This is the side effect of what you are doing. Or it could be, again, depends on the mindset of the person. It could be really the empowerment because they've tried to solve the situation and they don't see the way that the other person, because the boss hasn't changed. I have changed, but the boss didn't. I'm already on the adult level, but the manager doesn't want to cooperate with me. So the only way how to escape this relationship, these behaviors, is to split. That's still normal adult like behavior. If you try address it and nobody around you, no one in the surrounding wants to change it, and you are the sole person there, you can end up with leaving it. So that's what could happen. So that it could happen from the perspective of all those games, and it could happen also from the perspective of there was this challenge, and the only way how to overcome it is to leave, because leaving a company, leaving your status quo and going outside, that takes balls. To sum it up, look for the patterns of your own behaviors. Be more self-aware. Everybody are saying that they are self-aware, but in reality, just 2% of us are. So be aware of the patterns, review them, read a book, or read some sort of summaries on the internet, because knowing those patterns will help you to arrange them, to notice them again. So it's interconnected. If you know something is happening, or if you know that something could be happening, you can easily spot them. And then decide what you want to do with it. If you want to change it, or if you don't want to change it. And you can then see if you can change the environment, or talk with the other person, or with the environment itself. And if you can bring it to the adulthood level, and then you do the action, you can become the hero, the coach, or the challenger.
Very well said. And I have a recommendation.
Oh, let's look at it.
Those who watch us on video, they can see. Can you see? Okay, so it's The Art of the Gathering, How We Meet and Why It Matters by Priya Parker. So I'm really just at the beginning, but let me just read a bit, very short one. And this is deciding why you are really gathering. We gather to solve problems we can solve on our own. We gather to celebrate, to mourn, to mark transitions. We gather to make decisions. We gather because we need one another. We gather to show strength. We gather to honor and acknowledge. We gather to build companies and schools and neighborhoods. We gather to welcome and we gather to say goodbye. And there is also, of course, like written in whether it's the purpose that we should gather. It literally should help you maintain events, meetings, gatherings to the either by categories, by purposes, but making it like meaningful and not to like waste time or just meet and then just nothing. So that's my recommendation for today. And I might come back after I finish the whole book. maybe I'll learn something new. So with that said, 수고하셨습니다.
Bye bye.
Ciao, bye.
This podcast represents our own opinions, experience, and our own ideas. We do not represent any official statement from our employers, and this is not their official channel representing the company.